Hi, I'm Katie with Modern Textiles, and today I'm going to show you the easiest way to load a quilt onto your long arm. So first off, I'm going to show you how to install your SewTites Magnum magnets into your leaders, and later on I'll show you how quickly you can load a quilt onto your long arm with this system. So first things first, I've used the SewTites Magnums for over 2 years now. They came out and I'm kind of a late adopter on things. I like to test them out, make sure they're good before I recommend them to you. I've just been using them freely in my leader system. So each Magnum SewTite will come with this backing plate, which is phenomenal because it's very slim, a very slim plate. And then on the back of the Magnum SewTites, you've got about 5 really heavy duty magnets. So what I've done is with my manufactured sleeve on my leader, I just slip this backing plate in. You can see there's a flat side and then there's one with a little bit of a diamond plate on it. You can do either one. I prefer to just put it so the back side, the flat side is facing the magnet, so that way there's no any air gap between the magnets. I don't think it really matters at all. And then I just use my SewTite and I slide it into the position I want it. So with this tutorial, I've gone ahead. I have a 14-foot long arm. So from edge to edge of my leaders, the length of my leaders are going to be about 145 inches. So I've got 20 magnets on the top bar, 20 magnets on the bottom bar here. So I've taken that 145 inches and divided by 20 magnets, which gets me to about 7¼ inches spacing, where I want to just put basting stitches. Or you can go ahead and just take if you've got zipper leaders like me, you can just go ahead and take your leaders over to your sewing machine and quickly just zip right on there. And that way you have essentially a little pockets. Here you can see I've got my dimensions laid out here with just pen. I'm going to be sewing right on those lines. And then that way those backing plates are in that little pocket area and I can slide them as needed. It just is nice to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room. So I wouldn't lock them into place because you never know where a quilt may end on your leader. And I like just making sure that there is an overlap of where my magnet is and the overlap of that quilt back. So what I'm going to do is I've gone ahead and marked, like I showed you, those marks for my spacing on the leaders on the belly bar here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on my take-up bar in the back. So like I mentioned before, if you have a 145-inch wide leader, you're going to want to space them for about 7¼ inches for each line, and that'll give you 20 magnets on the back and then 20 magnets on the front. If you're running a 12-foot long arm, which your leader is probably going to be about 120 inches, you're going to want to space those lines out about every 6 inches. So the easiest way that I've found to mark my leaders is just taking probably my smallest acrylic ruler, and I have a center line. Like most of us long armers, we have a center line already pinned or marked on our leaders. I'm just going to go ahead and from that center line, I'm just going to mark out my spacing and then use just a pen, pencil, whatever you want to use. A Sharpie is fine too. And then make sure I have everything marked out, as well as move my backing plates in the leader sleeve. All right, now that I have my spacing marked on my leaders and I've moved all of the backing plates in the leader within those little guidelines, I have zipper leaders, which is really handy. So I'm just going to go ahead and unzip my leaders and then take them to my domestic machine, which will allow for me to just quickly sew them, as well as using my thread cutter on the machine. If you don't have zipper leaders, you can easily just add your free motion plate onto your machine and then go ahead and just either use channel locks to go vertically, and then that way you can just hit with regulated stitching on each of your dash lines, and that way you don't have to worry about trying to figure out a way to maneuver your domestic machine over to your long arm quilting machine. All right, so now I'm going to show you up close. I have gone ahead and just stitched on every single one of my lines, so that way I've got that nice little pocket that I can move the backing plate in as I need, back and forth, but the backing plates won't fall out of my leader sleeve, which, to be honest, for the last 2 years I've been kind of putting up with. So this is going to be super nice. Good upgrade, cheap upgrade for the new year for me, so that way I don't lose any backing plates when I'm rolling bars at all. So I'm going to go ahead and now zip my leaders back on, and we'll get to showing you how to load a quilt with your SewTites Magnums. All right, so I've got you in a new location just so you can better watch me load. There are two things I want to bring up right now. One is whenever I unload a quilt, I just leave the SewTites that I used for that quilt up top, so that way I can quickly reload the next quilt. So I do long arm quilt professionally, so for me having those efficiencies, even if it saves 15 to 30 seconds, it adds up over years of quilting and quilts from day to day. So just that's a little quick tip for you, as well as I'm gonna be loading a minky backing. That is another frequently asked question is, do they hold minky? Do they hold thicker backing fabrics? And yeah, I've never had a problem where the magnets have slipped off. Even with denim quilts, I've done that for backing. I've done chambray, a wide variety of different backing fabrics with no problems at all. So we're gonna go ahead and load that minky back. And the other thing I want to point out is I float my quilt tops and the batting. So if you are one to pin your quilt tops, you can also get another set of SewTites and use those for your quilt top bar as well. Personally, I've gone through pinning, I've gone through all different types of loading systems, and this has been the most accurate and least troublesome and least painful, especially with pinning, having jabbed yourself with pins many times. This has been by far the most efficient system that I found on the market to date. So let's get to loading that minky back. So like any other backing, you just find your center. Some people pin them, being 6 feet tall. It comes with its perks. Pretty much any back, I'm almost able to just fold in half. And then from there, I use my center line on my leader and then unfold just a little bit to get that first magnet in place. And you can just feel where the magnet is at in your leader, which is really nice. Like I said, usually I have these stashed up here, so that way I can just grab and go rather than having to peel them off. So as you can see, we're at a spot where I want to make sure that my magnet crosses over, and I might even move that other one just to make sure it gets a good grab on the edge of that fabric. So that's why it's important to have those little pockets rather than doing a very tight spacing and locking those backing plates exactly where you think you want them. You just never know. Quilts and quilt backs come in a variety of sizes, right? Once I get back to the center point, I always just readjust. And then I just like to line up the selvage with my leader, hem. Perfect. Bring that up a little bit. And then just rinse and repeat. For the bottom edge of the quilt. Lining up with that center line on my leader. And then just feel for the edge of that backing plate. And really, once you have used this for years, for plenty of times, even you'll notice after a couple of times, just like anything, it takes a little bit of time to get used to something, but you're not going to regret taking that time to use these, to be honest. And I don't think I mentioned, sorry, I'm getting caught up on someone. I don't think I mentioned, it took about 6 minutes to sew all of these little channels, these backing plates, into my leaders, both of them. So 6 minutes total, which for a one-time setup, that's not too bad. All right, we're loaded. I'm just gonna get this sorted and good to go. And in the next video, I'm gonna explain the difference between finished and unfinished quilt block sizes and why it matters.